We're back where it all started. An abandoned warehouse in an undisclosed location where our masked magician is about to reveal more of the amazing secrets behind magic's biggest illusions. Good evening. I'm Mitch Pileggi. Since we last met, magicians throughout the country have been outraged. They say we did something wrong and ordered us to stop. Well, guess what? We're going to do it again anyway. Tonight, we'll reveal the truth behind magic's most closely guarded secrets, including the world's most dangerous illusion, Houdini's famous water torture escape. A warning, if you don't want to know how these tricks are done, better switch to another channel right now. For his first trick, the masked magician will perform an illusion known simply as the crush. The trick is to make it look as if our lovely assistant is being crushed inside this wooden box. As always, we'll start by showing you how the illusion is performed. Then we'll reveal the secrets of how it's actually done. Now for the second box. 2 more assistants step inside and sit down. When the magician gives the cue, a crane lifts the box into the air. Again, the doors are open to prove that there is no extra hiding space at the bottom of the box. It also gives you a chance to see some well-toned midriffs. Notice the first box is mounted on sawhorses, so you can see that the assistant didn't just climb out the back. Remember, this is a world-class magician performing these dangerous tricks. Please do not attempt any of tonight's illusions at home. The box is now slowly lowered, making it appear as if our assistant is being squashed inside the box. But if that were really happening, you'd probably hear her screaming right about now. Once the second box is completely inside the first, the doors are opened again. Let's see. She's not in there. Or there. It looks like our lovely assistant has been crushed under the weight of the second box. But we know there has to be another explanation. Once the doors are closed, the box is lifted back into the air. When the doors are opened again, we see that our lovely assistant has somehow managed to survive. Could it be magic? I don't think so. How did our assistant avoid the crush? Here are the secrets. Although it may look as if our assistant is being smashed, it is merely an optical illusion. We've cut out the side of the box so you can see that the back is actually built at an angle. This creates just enough space for our assistant to squeeze into. You need a very flexible assistant to pull off a trick like this, or things can get pretty messy. As soon as the doors are closed, the assistant moves to the back of the box and gets into position. Watch as she quickly squeezes her body into the tiny space. This must be carefully done, because there is a real danger of being crushed under the weight of the second box. Here's what it looks like inside. Talk about a tight squeeze. Once the doors are closed, the box is lifted back into the air. Now she has enough room to slide back into her original position and finish the trick. The doors are open.
And there she is, lovely as ever.
With the help of this very lovely assistant, the masked magician will now create the illusion of teleportation. Most of the time, assistants are used only as a diversion. Not in this case. Here she is a very important part of the trick. The magician wants you to get a good look at the assistant, and not for just the obvious reasons. He backs her up a flight of stairs and onto a platform. They dance around the top to prove that there is no place to hide. The magician takes out a handkerchief and ties the assistant's arms over her head. In order to make it appear that she is tied really tight, he uses 2 separate knots. He looks back to make sure she can't escape. Then the magician makes his way over to the second platform. He climbs the stairs, gets into position, and gives the cue. The curtains go up. When they come down, our beautiful assistant has magically been transported to the other platform. Physically impossible? Not really. While this is one of magic's most convincing illusions, you'll be surprised at how easily it's done. First, the magician ties a loose slip knot around his assistant's wrists, so she can quickly break free and drop to the bottom of the platform. But if she's merely hiding, then how could she be magically transported to another platform 10 feet away? Was it mirrors? A holographic image? Take a look. That's right, identical twins. But you need more than just twins to pull off a trick like this. You also need perfect timing and execution. Notice the illusion is staged on high platforms, so the audience can't see where the other twin is hiding. From this angle, you can see that when the illusion begins, she is already out of sight. The magician ties up our first twin, then makes his way to the other platform. When the curtain is raised, she breaks free and hides in a way only a limber dancer could. On the other platform, her twin sister hides in the exact same position, waiting to make her magical appearance. When the curtain is raised, she stands up, red scarf in hand. A warm hug from our magician, and the illusion is complete. Take another look. With the help of our split screen, you can see the simultaneous action. Virtually all major magicians use twins in their acts. And you thought all they were good for were gum commercials.
Coming up, the amazing secret behind the world's scariest illusion, Houdini's water torture escape. Plus, how to shoot an arrow through a woman's body without drawing a drop of blood.
Now the masked magician will turn one of his assistants into the strongest woman on Earth, the Lady of Steel. You've probably noticed she's already got abs of steel, so that's not the trick. In order to transform flesh and blood into solid steel, he must first hypnotize her. She fixes her eyes on the crystal pendant. I bet you didn't know that our magician was also a master hypnotist. It looks like she's fallen under his spell. Suddenly, her body goes limp. The magician is now in complete control of her mind and body. She appears lifeless and weak, but not for long. He commands her arm to rise. I told you he was in control of her body. Then he uses his magical powers to infuse her with superhuman strength. Amazingly, her arm is now capable of supporting his entire weight. He repeats the process with her other arm. I wonder if this is how Supergirl got her start. Again, he uses her arm to lift himself off the ground. He makes sure that she's still in a deep trance. Then he calls for his other assistants. They climb up the ladders and get ready to put the Lady of Steel to the ultimate test. It seems impossible, but she is now supporting more than 200 pounds on top of her arms. Is this really the world's strongest woman? Don't bet on it. How did he do it? This trick is done with a little sleight of hand and a lot of help from this ordinary-looking chair. As for the magician's incredible hypnotic powers, he has none. But you probably knew that. Now, here's what you didn't know. While it looks like he's turning his assistant into a Lady of Steel, he's only doing this to block your view. This is so you won't see him secretly pulling out metal bars that are hidden in the back of the chair. This is what it looks like without the assistant. Here's something else you didn't know. The chair is actually made of welded steel. It's painted to look like wood. It's also bolted to the ground, so it can't move. Although it appears that the assistants are climbing out onto her arms, they are actually standing on the metal bars. This requires excellent balance and coordination. Meanwhile, our Lady of Steel must keep her arms perfectly still so the audience can't see the bars. And that's how it's done.
Now for a classic illusion, the vanishing scarves. First, the magician shows you that these are ordinary scarves. They look pretty ordinary. Then he stuffs the scarves inside a glass tube. Watch carefully and see if you can figure out the trick. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Presto. The scarves are gone. How did he do it? You've heard that the hand is quicker than the eye. Well, this trick proves that scarves are even quicker. What you don't see is that the scarves are hooked to a short piece of fishing line that runs up the magician's sleeve, behind his back, and along his other arm. When he extends his arms, the fishing line is pulled tight, and the scarves disappear into his sleeve. Even in slow motion, it's hard to see. We always knew that the masked magician had something up his sleeve. Now, our magician will defy the laws of physics and walk through this solid brick wall. First, he'll demonstrate his amazing powers with the help of this ordinary egg. He pushes the egg into the wall, and it vanishes. Now, on the other side, he magically pulls the egg through the solid wall. Yes, the egg is real. And so's the mess. Now it's the magician's turn to pass through the wall. Special screens are brought out. Watch as his shadow moves toward the wall, then disappears into